welcome back to Behind the Bench as the Nanooks come back from a road series against Minnesota State Mankato, bringing back 2 points in kind of a crazy weekend there. Tell us about it.
Yeah, you know what? It was, probably I think we played, 130 minutes of hockey with 2 overtimes, but it was, it was the theory of goals come in bunches, it seemed like, and the Friday night we were, I thought we had a good start to the game, and it was always about the next goal. It'd be, 2-0, 2-1, 3-1, 3-2, 4-2, 4-3, and then, halfway through the third, things were kind of, I thought we had a pretty good tempo, pretty good flow to our game, and they ended up getting 2 real quick in 31 seconds, and, that was the story for that game. And, Saturday night we came out and had a 3-0 lead after 1, and liked the way, obviously, things were going and having a lead, and then next thing you know, it's 4-3 for them going into the third period, and, again, goals just happened fast and furious, and lots of momentum swings to handle there. And I thought we came out and then we scored 2 in the first couple minutes of the third, and we're up 5-4. So it was a back and forth kind of game that way with goals in bunches. And the fans obviously got their money's worth. You got an overtime, a 3-on-3 overtime, and then a shootout that I think went all the way up to 8 shooters. So it was an interesting evening. Obviously, getting 2 points out of the weekend was better than no points, obviously. But it's a tough building to play in. They're a great team, and I did like the way, for the most part, our team competed and stuck to the game plan, and minus little parts of each game. But that's what's going to happen at this level.
Well, a lot of points coming from the defensemen too this last week. I mean, Danny Crowley gets his first goal of his career. James Ledouce-Perry's his second. So certainly you're looking for scoring from all areas of the game at this point. And against a team like Minnesota State, you've got to get goals in the net.
Yeah, you've got to have depth in your scoring, and the first night we had 2 power play goals, and both 2 defensemen scored 2 of those, and getting them off your stick quick, and those were big goals for us to get us within 1. And the next night, obviously, there was a little bit of everything. We had a shorthanded goal, we had some transition goals, and some goals off the cycle, which was good to see. Just spending a little bit more time in the offensive zone, and then creating scoring chances off of it.
Yeah, we've talked about the youth of the team too, quite a bit through these videos, and I don't think it's any secret at this point. But when you put this team at this point of the season through that kind of adversity, with the swings and emotion and mentality and tempo, especially in that second game on Saturday, what does it do for the team to come away with 2 points after? And the tie, essentially, after being at 3-0 in the first period.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's you try and use every little bit of it as a learning curve. I mean, I think that we've been in that situation. Probably I think that was the 3rd time this year where we're there within the game, and then all of a sudden it gets blown out. And it doesn't tell the story of the game, but you try and keep focusing in on the things that you're doing positively and seeing the growth, and and then you get those tight games that those things build a lot of character. And we didn't win the game, but we certainly competed hard, and against a real good team on the road, and then obviously we're fortunate to get the extra point in the shootout. But every little bit of it is just trying to take some of that information, that experience, and apply it to the next time around. And I said this probably a couple months ago, like when we first started. It's just finding the highs and lows and trying to tighten it a little bit so we can have a little bit even keel, a little bit more predictable in the game that we're going to play. And I think guys are getting more comfortable with how we need to play to be successful, and then now we're starting to get into a little bit more into the details of handling certain situations that come up during the game, and and being able to keep pushing forward. So I think it's continued. It's always a work in progress, but there's a lot of games we've been in that we've competed and given ourselves a chance to win, and now it's kind of getting an acquired taste of getting yourself over the hump in those tight games to be able to get the 3 points versus maybe 1 or 2 or none. So I think that will be the tell for us to continue to work down that path and learn how to win those tight games, and help us move forward as we get closer to the end of the season.
Yeah, well, certainly when speaking of the end of the season, WCHA, of course, changes the playoff format this year. Changes a lot of rules. We're no stranger to the shootout in the CCHA days, yep. But that's the Nanooks are now 2-0 in either 3-on-3 or the shootout. So it's helped the team in some aspects as well.
Yeah, not really knowing, never played the 3-on-3, but I'll tell you what, there's, when we were in Huntsville, it didn't last very long, but in I think the 20-some seconds we were in 3-on-3, I mean, we had 3 scoring chances, and, it kind of worked the other way. We went the whole 5 minutes, and, I think we gave up two 2-on-1s. I think we had a couple opportunities on the 2-on-1s, and so it's certainly exciting. I mean, it's the purest way of offensive hockey. I mean, you're trying to create 2-on-1s all over the rink to hopefully open some up and get a scoring chance. But no sooner do you get a scoring chance, and the puck goes back the other way for a scoring chance. So I mean, that's why it was implemented. It's exciting for the fans, and the fact that you're changing the game from 5-on-5 to 3-on-3. That is duly noted in the fact that you're still going to get a point. Then it's about going after the second point. And for us, it was exciting. Both goaltenders made some big saves, and then we got into the shootout, and it went pretty deep. And we hadn't been in one for several years now. So it's as far as for points on the line, I mean, we've had them in the Governor's Cup, and I like the sudden death concept to it. I mean, it's one shooter, one save, one goal, and you win it. And ours obviously went pretty deep.
Yeah, well, some of the other series haven't gone that deep in the shooting. Yeah. You've seen where it's been, like you said, one shot, one goal, one save, and that's it.
Yeah.
Of course, the CCHA was the best of three, and NHL has been the best of three for a while too. So there's certainly some variations the way to do it. Do you prefer the sudden death aspect of it? Or would you
initially, no. I thought I wanted to go as long as possible, give you as much of a chance to win it. But I guess depends on what side you're on. But I think that the thing is when you get 60 minutes into it, 65 minutes into it, 70 minutes into it, and if that's on a Friday, I mean, every little minute counts. And I think you start getting a little bit longer. I mean, it can wear into the next day. You know what I mean? Your preparation. Fortunately, it's been on a Saturday for us, so we didn't have much other than the travel home. But it's exciting. I think I like the sudden death. I think that would be something that I would vote to keep it, regardless of what side you're on. And I think just the finality to it. It's just one shot. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, we see what the 3-on-3 has done for the NHL too. Do you think the NCAA will adopt that in time?
Yeah. I mean, been in two of them. They've been pretty exciting. One's been 5 minutes. One's been 20-some seconds. And maybe you have a different tune if if you're losing those ones. But I don't think so. I think it was implemented. One to get some distinguish between a tie and and not a tie, and then obviously for the fan experience. And I think the players like it too. So I think it's been a real positive, and I don't know how many we've had in our league, but I know it was talked about that very seldom does it get to a shootout, in some of the other leagues that have implemented that, and for us we've got to one, and so we'll keep going, and and again, it's exciting for the fans, and I think the players like it too.
Well, back to the games this last weekend too. The goaltending has been a story too for some point this year. We saw Jesse on Friday. Davis on Saturday. Davis Jones had a great response for that game on Saturday as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Jesse's been on a little bit of a run in the net and given us a good chance to win and playing well. And we thought Davis hadn't been in the net for a little while, and he's been certainly working hard like he normally does in practice and preparing. And we give him a chance in the net, and I thought he was huge. I mean, we were up 3-0 after the first period, but he made a couple big saves on the penalty kill that those are the ones that the ones they're not supposed to save, that type of saves, and so that was big. And I mean maybe there was one that maybe a bad angle goal, but other than that, he was very, very good for us. And if you look down the stretch, we had to kill a penalty in the 3-on-3, which was a 4-on-3, and even in the 3-on-3 made some big saves on a couple of their 2-on-1s, and obviously closed the door in the shootout, and he was a big part of getting that extra point.
Well, like you said, the goalie's job is supposed to stop all the ones he is and the ones he's not, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So let's talk about this coming weekend. Obviously, a series that needs no introduction. UAA is coming to town, right? The throwback jerseys, we got one on here. It seems to be all the rage going on social media now, as it turns out. Talk about this weekend and what we're looking at for the Nanooks and the Seawolves.
Yeah, I think it's just another weekend for us to continue to grow as a team, and then you put the fact that we're competing for the Governor's Cup, again, your biggest rivals. So been involved in a lot of these series, and no matter what's going on with either team, it always ends up being a dogfight, and they're fun to be a part of. And I know it's bigger than just two teams going out and playing hockey when you're dealing with the universities, the communities, and the pride that's on the line. So we're expecting a hard-fought series, and it's always been interesting since we joined the same league where we're competing for points, not only the Governor's Cup, but points in the standings. And, I think speak for ourselves. I mean, we certainly need to gather points as many as we can here. And we haven't been great at home, so that's something that we've been focused on here, making sure we're prepared to play our game at home with the enthusiasm and the energy required to be successful. And, again, shouldn't take no introduction to get up for this series. It's always a battle and fun to be a part of.
Well, yeah, it's certainly always going to be a part of it. We saw exactly how fun it was the first game of the year down in Anchorage. seemingly a little bit of a one-sided tilt in Nanooks' favor, a 4-1 win down there. But both teams have grown quite a bit since then. What are you expecting to see from UAA this weekend that you maybe didn't see back in October?
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at that game, and there's always moments in games where it can go the other way, and sometimes you're fortunate it doesn't, sometimes it does go the other way, and I always remember I think we were up 1-0 or 2-0, I think it was, and they had a power play, and they had a couple really good opportunities, and one on the back door that was essentially a slam dunk, and it didn't go in, and then next thing we come down and score, I think, with a few seconds left in the first period. So, I think again, it's going to come down to execution. Specialty teams always play a factor in the outcomes of games, and then it gets to goaltending. And I think that specialty teams and goaltending is a huge key to having success in our league. 5-on-5, and all the teams in our league defend pretty well, and but it comes down to the details of the execution, and getting that one extra goal. I mean, there's a lot of tight games, so especially teams and goaltending, I think, are no different than any other weekend. It would be the keys for this for us, and we've got to make sure that, again, we spend a lot of time on them, but it's been, our power play statistically has been pretty good, but I still think we got another level to us as far as how it impacts the outcome of a game. And the penalty kill, again, same concept. I mean, how tight can we be, and limiting scoring chances, and gathering momentum out of specialty teams.
Yeah, well, it's certainly a fun weekend to be a part of. Governor's Cup hockey always is. Expect the building to be packed. It should be a great weekend. Of course, these jerseys will be on the players this weekend too, not just me. So, these jerseys will be for sale too. So they will be available. Look for the details at the Face Off Club table this weekend, and also follow us on social media. Dallas, thanks for your time.
Yeah, you bet.
It's going to be a great weekend. Let's go Nooks.
Go Nooks.